What is the state of cars in 2026? So today I wanted to talk about cars and what is the state of cars in 2026. What is going on with so much happening, so many changes around the world, and so many of these manufacturers changing things up. So just to start off, I've got a loan car at the moment because my car's being fixed, but I have a Toyota Kluger. Here in Australia it's known as a Toyota Kluger, but overseas it's known as a Toyota Highlander. And generally they're pretty good cars. They're really reliable, as you know Toyotas are. But I bought this car in 2024 and it's a 2022 model, so it's not that old. And basically shortly after I got it, I had a shock absorber problems. There was like a recall, there was an issue with that. And then the next thing that went out was the transmission. So this is like a 2-year-old car and it's got transmission problems already. The transmission's gone. A whining sound came up, and then I took it to Toyota and they're like, yeah, your transmission's gone, you need a new transmission. They were nice about it and they replaced it. Shortly after that, I had aircon problems. Aircon wasn't working. After that, I had an exhaust issue. So there was an exhaust leak, so they had to replace the exhaust. There was a gasket issue. Also, I've got the torque converter during the transmission. It was a transmission and a torque converter. So I've had multiple issues with this car, like it's constant. And now it's developed another issue with the front end, like sort of the axle is like really loud when I sort of slow down, when I turn in, it's shaking, it's making a lot of noises. So that's got to get checked out next. But they're looking at all of this. But going back to my point, the car that I'm in at the moment is a 2009 Toyota Corolla. I'll tell you, this car is indestructible. As long as you service it, it just keeps going and going and going. It's been such a good car. I've driven it so many times and it's been flawless. And here I buy a 2022 model Toyota Kluger, and I've had, it's been at the mechanics more time nearly than what I've driven it. So it's just been a headache constantly. So again, like, what is going on in these new cars? And so many people I talk to, and they've got these new vehicles that they purchase, Ford Rangers. A friend of mine bought a Ford Ranger, had it for a year, blown engine, a new car. It's getting replaced. New engine. Myself, new transmission. You just like, what is happening with these new cars? What is going on? They say, they're meant to be more reliable, but there's more issues. There's more recalls year after year. There's constant recalls for all these cars. So it's just, I feel like it's, like the downfall of these brands. These once really good brands, they're just going downhill. Toyota, Honda, Mazda, like Mitsubishi, these are such good cars, and now what's happening? Recall after recall, more issues with these cars. You speak to these people that have got these new models, they're not happy. There's always problems, which leads me on to is this like, what happened to good cars, fun cars? I feel like this is the death of cool cars. Everything now is just very boring. These cars are just very boring to drive. You know, on top of all these issues, there's not real much fun in these cars anymore. You know, they are very boring. Back in the day, you know, you had a car from the 80s. My first car was an 84 model. And it was just something different. Like, you got in that car and you drove it, and it was just, you know, just felt different. The sound of it, the interior, everything just felt different. Now it feels like you're just driving in an iPhone. Basically, it's just one big giant tablet. The screen at the front just doesn't feel the same. The love isn't there anymore like what it used to be. These cars have just become also generic and vanilla. Like the colors. Whatever happened to nice colors? Two-tone. My first car, again, was a white two-tone color. White and grey. It was a Calais. Whatever happened to that? You know? Like, that's it. It's gone now. Now it's just these generic colors. White, grey, black. If you're lucky, you might get a red car. Maybe orange. That's about it. Like, you haven't got much of a choice anymore. You haven't got much of a range in vehicle colors. That's it. What you know, what there is what you get. So it's, you know, it's just all these just very vanilla type, you know, boring cars, and you're not even getting much options anymore. So, you know, they announced the new Highlander, which is going to be the Kluger, and engines. What's going on with the engines? This is just an EV now, no longer a hybrid option. You know, you had a V6 petrol, then they moved to a turbo engine, you had diesel options, and now you've got, they moved to hybrid, and then after hybrid, now it's just fully EV. So you're not even getting that option anymore of a hybrid, you know, petrol turbo, no more. Now it's just straight to EV. And, you know, these cars here, the people that own these cars, they're doing long drives, long trips around the country. You're not going to be able to do these on an EV. This is not what the customers want. You might have the odd few, they'll buy them, city driving, great. But full EV, I don't know. I feel like perhaps maybe Toyota was planning this years in advance, anticipating that by now, 2027, when this gets released, that most cars on the road would be EVs. That's what I'm thinking. This is my guess. And they've anticipated this, you know, because they start developing cars, you know, 4 or 5 years before in advance. And I guess now they have to release it. They've spent, you know, probably millions, if not billions of dollars on this car. You've got to release it. But will it be a success? I don't know. I can't see it happening, being a successful car, but we'll see how Toyota's going to pull this off. And, you know, and other car brands now moving to just EVs. Not just that, limited, you know, just limited to hybrids. You know, and hybrids have been, you know, good. They've been proven to be great, especially the Toyota hybrids. They've shown, you know, they've been around for a long time, especially with the Prius. But again, not many options. You don't have a diesel anymore. You don't have a turbo anymore. You don't have a straight 6 anymore, like a petrol. You've just gone straight to hybrids and now EVs. So customers don't have many options left for them. That's it. That's all they've got. Cut back in everything. Colors, engines. What's next? And on top of that, subscriptions. Again, I've spoken about this before. You know, how subscriptions have, you know, made their way in gaming, TV, movies, and now you've got them in cars. You've also got them in cars. So now we've got subscriptions in cars. We really don't need subscriptions in cars. But if this catches on more and more companies are going to continue doing it. Seat warmers. Apparently, you know, some like BMW, you know, to access your seat warmers, you need a subscription. Tesla, self-driving. We know this recently, they've changed it. There's a Tesla in front of me right now. But to access the self-driving, semi-self-driving, whatever they want to call it, you need a subscription. Without that, you won't get that function. So what, you're going to spend 70, 80K on a car, and you're not even getting the full fun of what you want for the car. You're missing bits and pieces of these cars. Heated seats, which you think you would need for winter, especially if it's snowing. Nah, you got to pay extra. So that too, on top of everything else. But I think what's making it, I think what really wrecks it for me the most, again, since COVID, we saw price hikes. Cars went up. Second, the used car market's gone up. The new car market's gone up. It's all gone up. Never came back down. Like, this never came back down. To get a new car, a second-hand car, good luck. It's ridiculous. Look at the prices. Not far off what the new one's worth. Honestly, it really isn't. It's very close. So it's like you're sort of pushed in a way to buy a new car. I feel like that's where it's heading. It's like pushing you to get a new car. You want a used car, but how much are you really saving on a used car? Not much. Really, not that much. It's even myself. I bought a car. I was 2 years old when I bought it. You would think it would have depreciated a fair amount. And I know Toyotas don't depreciate as much, but I still paid a fair amount. You know, to the point people were saying to me, maybe you should consider spending a little bit more and just getting a new version. But, you know, a new one. But I didn't. I said, no, it's fine. I'm going to save a little bit of money and just see how I go. But prices aren't going down. They keep going up every year. $2,500, $3,000 price hike every time. Keeps going higher and higher and higher. They're not lowering the prices, and you're getting less. How much more are you getting from a car, really? Especially when they start introducing subscription models more and more. So, you know, I guess I just wanted to touch on this topic because it bothers me. You know, cars are the next most expensive asset. Not asset, but it's liability, really, after a house. You know, you got your house, that's a whole nother topic. And then you've got your car. And things have changed, and I've been driving for a long time now, and I've had so many cars, especially that I worked for a car company, so I was in so many cars now, and I've seen them change throughout the years more and more and more, and I felt like, you know, COVID was like sort of the nail in the coffin. Just really brought the prices up, dropped some features on the car. Now we're seeing the shift to, you know, EV. You know, we had hybrid for a little while, but now it's like, nah, they're going to start going full EV. So, I don't know. I don't know where all this is going. It's going to be, you know, strange times ahead. Very interesting. See where 2026, 2027 leads us. You know, they're already talking about 2027 make cars. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I just want to get people's opinion. You know, what do people think? You know, what are you driving? Are you having any issues? Is your car boring? Is the car market in decline? Like, what's happening here? Like, what's going on? I'd like to know your thoughts. Anyway, I thought I'd just touch on that. Try to keep it nice and short. And if you enjoyed that content, give the channel, give the video a like. Consider subscribing. And yeah, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.